Hi, hello, English readers, and welcome to episode 17 of the podcast Read in English. I'm Lydie Bureau, and I'm an English teacher in France. I'm also the founder of Lydie's Book Club, in which I host live readings of adaptations of classics and contemporary novels of English literature. And once a week, I meet the members of the book club via Zoom to discuss the chapters that we have read over the week. We also talk about books in general and learning English. And today I am delighted to introduce you to Virginia Woolf and her famous novel, Mrs. Dalloway, published in 1925. Hello, Etienne. Welcome to the live. Hello, I hope you're well. Welcome, welcome. So, Virginia Woolf was born in London in 1882, and she is regarded as one of the world's most important writer of the 20th century. From her first novels, she shows a very distinctive and innovative narrative style. She is known for her narrative experimentations that are characteristic of the modernist movement. So modernism is this literary movement of the early 20th century in which writers examine the inner thoughts of their characters instead of developing a plot. So in Mrs. Dalloway, or this adaptation, there are no chapters, and instead there are sections in which we follow a particular character and their thoughts. So this writing style is called the stream of consciousness because it shows the thoughts running through someone's mind like a stream or like a river. It really flows like that in the text. So these thoughts can include memories of the past, reactions to the present, and plans for the future. And sometimes we move between different times, different characters with one single sentence or within one single sentence or one paragraph. So it can be confusing or a little bit disturbing. Also, reading Mrs. Dalloway is sometimes like reading a poem, as Woolf often uses images to compare things. Words and phrases are often repeated to build ideas and make connections between characters, and the way they are written can reflect their meaning as well. So, Mrs. Dalloway is set in London in one single day of June in 1923, 5 years after the First World War. So during this one day, we follow three characters: Clarissa Dalloway, the main character, Peter Walsh, and Septimus Warren Smith. So Clarissa is the upper class wife of a politician called Richard Dalloway, and they live at the heart of London political scene in Westminster. They live in a sumptuous house with servants and a cook. Clarissa appreciates life. She's a socialite, So she likes to host parties, and she likes to she's someone that puts people in contact, or she's very much in the artistic scene, and also political scene as well. Hi, Ediven, welcome to this live. I hope you're going to find it interesting. I hope you're well as well. So they live in this sumptuous house with servants and a cook. And as I was saying, Clarissa is a socialite, and she is quite nostalgic about her life at Barton, which is a large country house that Woolf made up for the novel. It doesn't exist in real life, contrary to the places that we visit in the novel that really exist, because they're set in London. And they exist in real life. So she is also often thinks about death. So that's kind of her description. And the novel opens with Clarissa at the market buying flowers for her dinner party, where the elite class of London will be attending. Now, Peter Walsh, our second main character in the story. So Peter Walsh is Clarissa's friend, old friend from Burton. Hi, Kitty, welcome. I hope you're well. So Peter Walsh is Clarissa's old friend from Burton, and she rejected him in order to marry Richard, as he is a rich man, not unlike Peter Walsh. So after that, Peter Walsh is devastated. He's heartbroken, and he leaves England to fight in India, which is still part of the British Empire in 1923. So he comes back after 5 years in India, and is back in London. And when Clarissa comes back from the market, he's there at her house waiting for her. So they start chatting about life, and they're filled with nostalgia as well for not having seen each other for so many years. Now, our third character, Septimus Warren Smith. He is in his 30s, and he is a veteran of the First World War. And he is suffering from serious mental illness as a result of his dramatic experience of the First World War. He suffers from PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and shell shock. Shell shock is the bombing shock, the fact that you had those bombs flying and crashing on the ground. So we call that shell shock. He is treated by two doctors, Dr. Holmes and Sir William Bradshaw, but none of them are really listening to him or trying to understand his trauma and his condition. So Septimus is probably the character that is the closest to Woolf's personality, because like him, she suffered from serious mental illness, and was also treated by doctors that had very little understanding of her condition. So Virginia Woolf was a very tormented soul. She lived through intense periods of depression, and similarly to her character, she committed suicide. So in the novel, Septimus, there is a little bit of spoiler here. So in the novel, Septimus kills himself by jumping out of a window, and Woolf, Virginia Woolf, drowned herself in the river in March 1941. So there are some parallel from the story and the personality of the characters and Virginia Woolf herself. So originally, the novel was titled The Hours to refer to Big Ben striking each hour of the day throughout the novel. If you are interested in watching a great film inspired by Virginia Woolf and Mrs. Dalloway, there is this film called The Hours. It's not really an adaptation of Mrs. Dalloway, but it is a film that portrayed different characters, and Nicole Kidman plays Virginia Woolf. And it's a great film set in different times. And that's very interesting to watch. And I discovered, as I was doing the research, I discovered that they used the original name of Mrs. Dalloway, The Hours, to title this film. So it's very, very clever to do, and it's a nice I forgot the word, but it's a nice reference to the original title of the novel, and a nice reference to Virginia Woolf, Virginia Woolf's work. So to conclude, this novel is a storytelling of the stream of consciousness, this concept that I explained at the beginning of the podcast episode. So the stream of consciousness is the fact that each scene is closely tracks the momentary thoughts of a particular character. There is no distinction between direct or indirect speech, and there are a lot of interior monologues as well. And that's what makes this novel such a precursor in the movement of modernism in literature. And she actually was inspired by James Joyce with his novel Ulysses, that also explores the concept of stream of consciousness, and the story is set in one day as well. So she kind of reproduced this the same narrative style as James Joyce. So this is it. This podcast is quite a short one. It's a different type of episodes that I offer you today. So I hope that you enjoyed getting to know Virginia Woolf and her work, and learning more about this novel. And I hope that you will get even more excited to start reading the novel with us at the book club. So from the 1st of April, so basically from next week, and until the 19th of April, we will be reading this graded reader adaptation of Mrs. Dalloway. and it's a B2 level, so it's upper intermediate level. And as I explained earlier, there are no chapters, but there are sections. So the book is divided in 15 sections. So that means that each day we will read one section. Katie is saying that I'm looking forward to next week. Thank you. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. So make sure that you subscribe to the book club membership as well, to be part of this literary journey and be part of the conversation about this book, and also practice your English as well as reading. And also be part of the conversation of that novel and your thoughts as well to share on that novel. So I wish you a beautiful end of the day, and I see you next time with a new literary live podcast. Bye. Bye-bye.